Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here. I hope I'm talking to somebody out there. It's been a while. It's been a while since I last saw you. But anyway, we are back. I'm back from Hawaii and making a watercolor course, and we were gone for quite a while. And it's good to be back. And had a great trip in Hawaii. Did some drawing and sketching. Saw some friends. And Dustin and I, we just finished the week before last shooting the new watercolor course. Matter of fact, I've got a pile of little paintings here of all the different demonstrations that I did for the course. And so these are all images that I created. So if you get my new watercolor course, you're going to see how I painted all of these images. I've got a pile of them. So that was a lot of fun. And that is going, it's getting delivered. It's coming out on Friday. And you can pre-order it for a substantial savings. You can still pre-order it. And, man, I got a lot in here, don't I? And then it goes up in price on Friday when it comes out. But lots and lots and lots of paintings. Tons and tons. It's, I think the course is how long, Dustin? It's like 14 hours?
Oh, at least.
12 hours? 12 or 14 hours. Just tons and tons of demonstrations. You can see, I mean, all of these.
Sorry.
I do all these on camera. So, it's pretty cool. I'm really happy with it. And I think you guys will like it. Another cool piece of news is that we just crossed 300,000 subscribers on YouTube.
300,000?
Yeah. So I'm really happy about that. So in celebration of that, we're doing a promo code. If you guys are watching today, if you go over to creatureartteacher.com and purchase anything, put in the promo code YT, standing for YouTube.
YT.
Put in the promo code YT300K. YT300K. You'll get 25% off any order. Everything. So that's a pretty good deal, I think.
I think it's a good deal.
And so I've covered that.
Covered that.
Oh, our Peckforton Castle. We're doing a big workshop. Ronnie Williford, who has the color courses and painting outdoors painting course on our website. Ronnie and I have been friends for 25 years. Ronnie Williford and I are going to be teaching a workshop for 4 days, 5 nights, the other way around, 4 nights, 5 days, just outside Manchester, England at Peckforton Castle. We're actually going to stay in a castle. We had 20 spots available. They sold out within 48 hours. We didn't expect
Very
that.
quick.
So for those of you that may have wanted to get a spot and you didn't get a chance, we're currently trying to procure a few more rooms. We're not sure if we're going to be able to do it or not. But stay tuned for that. You can still go to the website, and if you're still interested in the course or in the workshop, go ahead and get on our waiting list, because there may be a few people between now and July that drop out, and some spots will open up. So you don't want to miss that opportunity. It's going to be a blast. All the food's included in the price. The lodging is included in the price, and obviously all of the teaching. And we're going to be doing landscape painting, animal drawing. We're going to be doing all kinds of sightseeing, and all the while we're staying in a castle. So it's pretty cool. What else? We got anything else? As usual, I've got Dustin with me by my side. He's going to be coughing off and on because he had bronchitis last week and almost died, it seemed like.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. And then in Sarasota, we've got... There he is.
Yeah, there it is.
And then in Sarasota, obviously, always, I've got my business partner, Nick Birch, and he's going to be helping the man questions as well. And so what are we going to do today? Well, I was thinking, this is Gatorade. I've had this Gatorade on my desk for like 2 weeks. I wonder if it's any good.
2 weeks.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
it just does. Ooh! It doesn't go bad.
Yeah, it's really hard for Gatorade to go bad.
Yeah. But anyway, wow.
Okay?
But anyway, I thought today, I got a little scratchy throat too.
That might have
Um,
been my bad.
yeah. I thought today, why don't we do request day?
Request day.
Request day. We gotta come up with a jingle for request day.
Um.
Not now, not off the cuff, but we'll come up with a jingle for request day. So let's do request day. And so if there's anybody watching, anybody out there, um, should we have a subject? No, it's request day. So let's just see what comes up.
Yep.
And
Somebody
meanwhile,
already wrote brave.
brave. Oh, I don't want to do any existing characters. I don't want to do that.
Smilodons? Smilodons?
Oh, it's Smilodon.
Uh,
Yeah, Smilodons are saber-toothed cats, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Somebody recommends talk about timing for animation.
Oh, no, I'm not animating. I'm going to illustrate today. But that's a good subject for another time, and I will do that.
There's also Iron Eagle. Draw a sassy snow leopard.
Ooh, sassy snow leopard.
An elephant laughing tail rolling on the grass.
What's that?
An elephant laughing its guts out rolling in the grass. Painting of Dumbo in watercolor or oil.
I like the idea of the sassy snow leopard.
Alien dog.
An underwater scene.
Yeah.
Draw a great white.
Sassy snow leopard. I like sassy snow leopard. Wild guinea pigs. An evil chipmunk. A mystic eye. Eyes already look mystic.
Saber-tooth samurai.
Ooh. No, sassy snow leopard. That one gets it. Yep, sassy snow leopard. Whoever came up with sassy snow leopard, I like it. So first thing I got to do, I don't have the snow leopard in my head.
And that was recommended by Haley Clark.
Haley Clark. Let me do this. I need to pull up a little snow leopard reference.
Reference? You need your reference?
Reference. I need my reference. Yes, my reference.
Reference.
Okay, I like that. I like it a lot. Let's see here. Is it this one? No, is it this one? No. Is it this one? Yes. Yeah, the snow leopards have a forehead, which is interesting, but there's a slight. They've got these like really cool cheekbones. The shape of the head is very interesting, and I like it.
You like it.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Oh, someone said I did a snow leopard on a previous request day. Well, I didn't do a sassy snow leopard.
Sassy.
Let's see here. I want to do a character. Someone said, yeah, Nick is writing, pretty sure you did a snow leopard on a previous request day. I know, I did. Yes, I am not denying that. I did it. I'm doing another one. Ah! So, let's see here. I like snow leopards. Someone requested it. I'm doing it. There's the snow leopard.
Snow leopard.
Right there. I like that. I like that image, but I'm not copying that image. It is just there as reference. I'll put that right over here. Here.
Right over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sassy snow leopard it is.
And if anybody's got any questions, now's the time to ask them. People are still like recommending, oh, do it this way, do it that way. Yeah, somebody said a spring themed sassy snow leopard.
Spring themed, huh?
Can you mix sassy snow leopard with a chipmunk?
No. No. Don't like that one.
What's your necklace? It looks like a vertebrae.
It is snake vertebrae. My necklace is snake vertebrae. Right there. I've got snake vertebrae in my mouth. Yep.
Snow leopard on the beach.
Beach. They're from the Himalayas.
Is the England trip full already?
Yes, it is full. But if you can get on the waiting list in case someone drops out.
What will you do a stream on Thursday?
No stream on Thursday. We have, oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention. We have Proko. For those of you that know Proko from YouTube, we have Proko coming in to the studio for 2 days. And we're going to be filming me doing a little charcoal demonstration. One of my giant, really big charcoal images.
When do you do a new charcoal movie? Think about when will you do a new charcoal movie?
A new charcoal movie?
Yeah. Think like a new lesson, like advanced
Oh.
charcoal or something?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it.
As you were coming to a castle in England, how about King Arthur as a lion on his throne?
King Arthur as a lion on his throne. That's actually a good one.
Roar.
Let's see. Maybe she's looking down at something. I think of it as a she.
Did you do your Montana trip? If so, was it fun?
Well, we did Montana. Yeah, we did Montana though a few weeks ago. Or I mean, a couple months ago. Montana was a couple months ago. Stay thirsty, my friend.
Stay thirsty.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was fantastic. I got some great images. It was all in the snow, which really helped, and which was the whole purpose for going.
Do you ever animate in 3D?
No, I've never learned 3D. Unfortunately, I wish I had, but I never have.
How did your style come to be? Was it from inspiration from classic Disney animation?
My style? Well, I'm not sure what style you're talking about. So there's my drawing style, and then there's my animation style, my painting style. I definitely think it was my style was probably affected by my time at Disney, just because, I was there for 21 years. And you couldn't help, it'd be pretty darn impossible not to be affected by something like that. But yeah, I think it kind of grew out of all of the above.
How was your trip to Hawaii?
Hawaii was awesome. It was a little bit of a blur. I was there with some friends of mine that are known for their ability to party very hard. And therefore, I got kind of pulled into that and had a few hangovers.
Probably more than a few, I bet.
Yeah, it was Rob Reed.
Houston, we have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes. So snow leopards have these long, beautiful, bushy tails. I'm exaggerating this one a little bit, but I decided to go ahead and do this as a vertical.
Which is the best book for learning big cat's anatomy?
The best book?
Yes.
That I don't know. I've got a lot of books on cats, big cats. Nothing specific on anatomy. To be honest with you, and at the risk of sounding like I'm hawking myself, but my course on how to draw big cats is pretty thorough. It's actually very thorough. I recommend it highly.
Nice advertisement.
Don't hesitate.
Buy the videos, you must.
Yeah. Twitch question: did you see Love, Death, and Robots? What are your thoughts on it? No, I haven't seen it. We were talking about it last night. I had my good friend Rick Sluter was over last night, which is why I'm a little thirsty today.
A little.
Yeah, because we tied one on last night too. Rick Sluter and I go way back. Rick was with Disney for years and years as well. Matter of fact, he was the art director for Mulan, and we were just talking about the old days and all the stuff we've done in our past, and we just had a blast. And
one of the subjects that came up was that show.
Yeah, and so one of the things he was talking about is how much he loves that new show, Love, Death, and Robots, and he was telling me I need to see it. So there you go.
How many pieces minimum to maximum should there be in a portfolio for a concept artist?
I don't think there's any set number of pieces that that need to be in there, but I think the number has to reflect your skill level. So I mean, you got to show enough in there to show what you can do, and it's enough to sell you. You don't want to fill it just to fill it, and you don't want to have anything less than your best in there either. So it's really about just getting the best work in there that you can, and doing that, and and weight it towards the front. You want your best work up front, because a lot of times people are looking at these portfolios and they're looking quick and they want to just get through them. So you want to get their attention right off the bat.
Have you seen How to Train Your Dragon 3?
I have not seen it yet, unfortunately, and I really regret that. I'm actually good friends with Dean Dubois, who directed it. I wouldn't say, I mean, we're good acquaintances. We worked together in the past, and Dean is one of the best writers, I think. Not just animation writers, but just great writers, screenplay writers. And so whenever we would do a new pass on a script on whatever film I was working on or directing at the time, I'd always call Dean. We'd always get Dean to read our script for us and give us notes, because he's that great. He's just a really, really amazing talent. YouTube question: what do you think about Disney buying 20th Century Fox? I think it's crazy. Not crazy. I mean, it's amazing. It's also kind of crazy that they have like this almost a monopoly on big budget animation. I mean, you've got Blue Sky, you've got Pixar, you've got Disney, all owned by the same company, putting out films now. So I mean, the only other big hitter out there is DreamWorks, really, and I'm not sure what's going on with them. It's pretty wild. So there's just a funky pose, I guess. Let me tie this down.
How do you add a sassy attitude to a snow leopard? It looks pretty calm right now.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I'm gonna go over the top of it. I want it to be like a little schmarmy grin, but it's not quite coming off right now. And I might do something else. Let me do this. I'm gonna double that up, and then I'm gonna do this.
How do you get over the fear of running out of ideas and just let ideas flow to you?
I don't. Uh, how do I get over the fear? I don't fear running out of ideas. Um, you don't fear that. You just come up with new ideas, really, and you force yourself to you just have to force yourself to you know come up with the ideas. Sorry, I'm thinking here. Um,
Everybody quiet. I'm thinking.
I'm thinking.
Wait, listen.
You smell that?
About character design.
Hold on, I haven't finished
Oh.
the question on coming up with ideas. So it's when you're creating every day, or at least almost every day, which I'm doing. Um, it's you're able to come up with ideas a little more readily. It's like a muscle, and the more you do it, the stronger it gets. And so that's if you have a fear of coming up with ideas, then just work more because you will. I don't like that either. You will get better at it.
Can you show us how to draw the skull of a snow leopard?
The skull of a snow leopard isn't much different than this. This is the skull of a mountain lion, a male mountain lion. And you can see one of the key factors on a cat that's different than a dog. You've heard me talk about this before, is this slope. You see, here's the plane of the top of the head, and there's a break at the brow, and then it comes down. So you've got that break right there. Whereas on a dog, you've got this, then you've got a forehead, then a snout comes out. And so there's that. And then this is probably more, it'll be a little bit smaller than this, the skull. But this is a leopard. There's a leopard skull. And once again, you can see that break in the forehead. And really strong cheekbones. You see those cheeks? A nice, really can open up that mouth. There we go, right there. Whereas here's a difference. This is a wolf. It's a wolf skull. So here's that plane I was talking about, forehead, and then the snout comes out. So the forehead plane and the snout plane are parallel. They both point in the same direction. There's just a little bit of a forehead, then the snout comes out. So that's one of the differences between drawing a dog and drawing a cat. Don't like this one. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'll turn that one back on. I'm liking this. I'm gonna push the expression more.
Kind of reminds me of Scar with that kind of like smug.
Yeah.
Kind of,
It's
not
kind
really sassy, but smug.
Yeah, well, that can be sassy too, I guess. That's what I think of sassy. Maybe a little snarl. That's goofy. Now we're just getting into goofy.
Do you use real skulls or replicas?
The mountain lion skull is real. The leopard skull was a replica. So I've got both. The skull behind me, that giraffe skull. Can they see that?
Yeah.
That giraffe skull. That thing's giant. That's a real giraffe skull. I'm gonna do one more. I gotta check one more thing here. Here.
Seeing as you've drawn so much through the years, does it ever feel like you've drawn everything?
No, not at all. Doesn't ever feel like I've drawn everything.
And how did your portfolio look like back then?
Um, my portfolio wasn't bad. It was pretty amateur compared to now, but that's 33 years ago. So hopefully I've grown in 33 years. Um, Let me just open up. I pulled up one more piece of reference. Reference. There it is.
Do you make your lines disappear after you paint by reducing their opacity?
I do sometimes. I may or may not on this one. I'm kind of getting slow started here because I'm continuing to pull up reference. Reference. Let me jump over to deep thoughts. YouTube question: how do you overcome the tediousness of creating hundreds of frames of the same thing to create animation? Well, first of all, I get really excited about what it is that I'm creating. So it doesn't feel tedious to me. Sometimes it does, but you keep the excitement of what it is that you're creating. Uh, in the forefront of my mind. Because I'm thinking about what is it, what it is that I'm doing, and then that really helps. And then uh, and I'm not drawing the same thing. I mean that the thing that I'm drawing, I'm moving in space and creating emotions and all of that kind of thing. So for me, it's changing all the time. YouTube question: how do you keep your digital paintings from looking like plastic? I use the brushes I use. I try to make very organic. I try to make them feel like they've got texture and that sort of thing, and that helps with that. Like the brush I'm using now is a brush that I made, and it feels like chalk, and I really like that.
How do you determine when to put eyebrows on your animal characters, or like where to put them?
I use eyebrows for expression, and I find us being whenever we create animals that are have that emote in ways that we are familiar with, we're anthropomorphizing them. Wow, I don't know if I added a syllable in there or not.
Anthropomorphizing?
Only because it's the way that we're used to communicating. So we have to create animals that have looks that we are used to, which is, we have eyebrows and we're used to getting expression through eyebrows and the way the eyes work and all that. And so I try to mimic that in the animals that I create, or the animal characters that I create. And like this right here, I've thrown an eyebrow in just to help with that expression. All right, I've been noodling this long enough, and I think this is going to be fine. I kind of imagine him as he's sitting up on his little rock throne, looking down on everybody.
I can't wait till Friday when watercolor course comes out. What will your next courses be, and when will they come out?
Thinking about doing a course on birds of prey.
Birds
I've been wanting to do that for a long time. I've been getting a lot of requests for it. I'm also going to do a course on gouache. I'm going to do a course on acrylic painting. I've got a lot planned over in the upcoming year. We starting the beginning of April, we are going to be offline again because man, it's really hot in here. Can we turn that fan on? Or I've got the there we go. We're going to be offline again because Nick and I are heading off to Europe. We're going to be in England. We're going to be in Manchester, Liverpool, London. Then we're going over to Dublin, Ireland for a few days. And then we're going to be in Viborg, Denmark, where I'm going to be giving some lectures at the animation workshop. And then from there, we're going over to Seville, Spain. And
when is all this again?
This is all basically the month of April.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so that's what we're doing there. How did I get on that?
That's basically next month, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about like birds of of Prey and all that.
Oh, that's right. So I'm going to be doing all these courses. It's just it's going to get interrupted because I've got this travel coming up. You Twitch question. Hello, Aaron. When will you do some paleo art? Well, it's not something I normally do, so I'm glad you requested it, and that's something I can definitely look at doing.
Will you still be making your brushes for Procreate? I remember you mentioned it a while ago.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten to it. I've dropped the ball on that just because we've had so many other things that we've been working on. I just haven't gotten to it.
Any plans for an oil painting tutorial?
Yes. So I'm going to be doing a studio oil painting course, and then later on down the road, I'll be doing my approach to field painting, plein air painting in oil. Right now, Ronnie Williford has his out right now, and so I want to let that sit for a little while, and then I'll do my approach.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to get the spots to follow the form a little bit here. Heel. As my gym teacher used to say.
Yeah.
Hey, get on over here.
Get on over here.
Boy, get on over here.
What kind of brushes do you use to create a feathery sort of texture? I've been trying to figure out how to add texture to feathered dragon character, but I'm not sure what to use.
Well, you can add texture this way. Let me show you. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty.
Right here. It's
pretty darn cool.
It's pretty freaking cool.
You can make your own brush. Let me do a little side. I'm going to jump off to the side here. We're going to make our own brush.
We're going to make our own brush. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
So I'm just making some random dots right here. Here. Okay, so there's some random dots. Let me do this. Let me move that center right about there. And I'm going to come up to Edit, and I'm going to go to, hold on one second. Brush. Now I'm going to Edit. Define pattern. I don't want to do that. What's going on? I'm going to do something else here.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Let me do something else. I'm going to create a new file. New. I want it to be small anyway. That would have been too big. 5 inches by 5 inches. And I'm going to create. And I'm going to create a new layer. And once again, I'm going to make these dots. In roughly a circular pattern, like so. I'm going to turn off the background, edit, define brush preset right there. So where it says define brush preset, I click on that, I hit OK, and now you can see I've got a brush. You see that? And I can make it smaller. Whoops. There we go. I can make it smaller and draw, and I can create all kinds of different parameters with it. By going into here, I can change the spacing and get everything really smooth. I can go into scatter and scatter everything so you get something that looks like that. We can do all kinds of different things. Go back into brush tip shape and mess with the spacing, and now I got something that looks like that. All kinds of different things you can do with it. But one of the cool things, I'm going to turn the scattering off, is I can use it as a smudge tool. And so let me do this. Let me go back to, here we go. So let me come back to here, and let's turn that on. And so let's say you want to do a feathered texture, or in this case a fur texture, and go over to my smudge tool, and I've got to drop way down. Here's my brush I just made, And I'm going to come way down, drop the size down, and now look. Let me blow that up for you so you can see it better. I have created a tool that can give me fur texture. But it can also give you feather textures. And it can give you grass textures. If you want it to be grass, I can go like this and go, okay, I want it to be grass. Hey, there we go, we're making grass. So there's all kinds of different things you can do with that. And it's just simply creating a series of dots in a circular pattern, going to define brush preset, and then using that on your smudge tool. It's very, very cool.
Have you made a lesson video about that? About how to make...
I have.
Yeah.
I have, yep. I have done that. Real quick, let me jump back up here. Back to my drawing brush. Twitch question, do you have any tips on working in a group for pre-production, specifically when there's conflicts between artists? Yeah. It's never fun when that happens. Well, somebody has to be in the lead. It can't be... Somebody's got to be taking the lead and driving it. If there's not, then you're just never going to get anywhere. And if there's conflict, if you guys are fighting, then something is going to have to give somewhere along the way. If it's somebody that just can't work in a group, then maybe that person has to go. That's just how it works. Working on an animated project is very much a collaborative effort, and not everyone will agree, but everyone has to agree to relent to the person in charge, or to whoever's vision it is that's creating the animated piece. So I would relent to whoever's directing and let them drive it. And a lot of times, I know at Disney, not everybody got along. And the ones that really couldn't get along, they went away. They didn't last. You have to be able to... We've got to get along. Like I said, it's such a collaborative effort. And if you can't collaborate and be open to other opinions, then go back to your office, go back to your room, go back to your studio and sit there and create by yourself, because you don't belong in a studio atmosphere if that's the case, which is fine. I know a lot of people that work on their own because they don't want to deal with other people's opinions, and that's perfectly viable. But don't go into a studio environment with the attitude that it's your way or the highway, because it doesn't work that way. Ever.
Are there more questions?
Yep, go for it. Sorry, Dustin.
No worries. When do you come to Seville?
We are there at the beginning of May, the first few days of May, the first week of May.
Personal question, are we doing a special April Fool's sale? What do you think?
Yeah, 100% off.
100% off.
Yeah.
That'll make it sound like 100% off, but then when they put in the code, it actually adds 100% extra.
Yeah, right. There you go. Man, this thing tastes like perfume. Oh, by the way, once again, for those of you who have just come on, today is request day. Someone asked for a sassy snow leopard, so I'm doing my best at creating kind of a at least smarmy snow leopard. And we're doing a promo code on my website today. So if you, I just crossed over 300,000 subscribers on YouTube, and in celebration of that, we are doing a promo code, and the promo code is YT300K. That's YouTube 300K, YT300K. You punch in that code when you check out on my website, and you'll get 25% off your entire order.
I'm good.
Okay.
It's easy, I'm good.
So here I'm really taking a long time today. I always do because I start talking. But right now I'm just going in and tying down the image for this here snow leopard. And I always like to start with a tied down drawing. And because for me, the stronger the drawing is, um, the stronger the finished product will be. And I don't like to try to find the drawing in the painting process. I like to paint the drawing. Question: the tip of your standard brush is more narrow on the vertical axis than on the horizontal. Is it because the brush happened to be this way and you accustomed it to it, or is there a deeper reason? No, I just like it this way. I just basically became accustomed to it. It feels like for me it's become it kind of feels like a big piece of graphite.
Right now, I'm working on an animation.
That's great.
Yeah! And I'm doing layouts right now. Awesome! What I want to know is, how do you go from layouts to animating and doing backgrounds?
Well, the layout is going to dictate all that. So, when you're doing your layout, you're not just drawing a background. You're creating camera direction, where the character is going to, where they fit in the shot, where they enter the shot, where they exit the shot. You're creating all of that. So, just by the sheer fact of creating layouts, if you're doing it the right way, you should know what the animation is going to be in the next stage because you're determining that in the layout process. That's the point of doing layout. Layout, once again, is not just creating the stage for the characters to work in. It's dictating where the characters are going to be and there we go. And where they're going, where they're going to act as well. So that's that. And I've got nothing more to say on that.
Have you seen Kathakali? It's an art form of storytelling only through expressions and gestures.
No, I've never seen that. It sounds pretty cool though.
I think it's how I pronounce it. Kathakali? Kathakali?
I don't know.
It's Kathakali.
You lost me at K.
K. Good. Will the Birds of Prey course be available on your creature art teacher website? Like, will it be similar to like how to draw big cats, how to draw
Yes,
wolves?
it's going to be part of my whole how to draw animals series.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Aaron, could you add a small animal in the back on the back of the snow leopard, like a squirrel?
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. How about a pika? A pika is a small rodent that lives up in the rocks. I'm sure they have pikas in the Himalayas. But first, I gotta do
To
this.
give her a little crown as a queen, as the queen she is. Among your old partners at Disney, who would you say was the best problem solver?
I think everybody was really good at problem solving. I gotta say though, my late partner Bob Walker, who he was one of my best friends. He was the first guy I met at Disney. We were friends for close to 30 years. But he passed away a few years ago, and man, I miss that guy every day. But he was one of the most thoughtful. He would really think about story issues and whatever the issue was, he'd really think about it and really play it out in his head. And what the implications are for it, and all that kind of stuff. He was really great that way. And as far as a visual problem solver, there was nobody better than him. He was pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing.
He was pretty amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of like this cat. I'd like to animate this cat. I'm liking the way she's coming out. Or he. I think it's a she. Maybe it's a he. I don't know.
I do declare, sir.
Do I want to put a pika on there? I need a pika. Pikas, they're funny. They're funny little animals. They're kind of related to rabbits. They look like a little miniature rabbit with little ears. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Pika.
Pika.
What are your recommendations for someone trying out digital art for the first time? Should we treat it as something different from traditional, using different techniques, etc.?
Sorry. Repeat the question.
What are your recommendations for someone trying out digital art for the first time? Should we treat it as something different from traditional, using different techniques, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, it is different. So treat it different. But at the same time, you can approach it the same way. I approach digital painting the same way I approach traditional painting, but at the same time, I embrace the digitalness of it, meaning I can do layers, I can do warping, and all kinds of different things. And because of what it is, I embrace that medium, but at the same time, I can blend it with other approaches that I've done in the past. So that's kind of my recommendation there. YouTube question. Hey Aaron, I was checking on your videos and I know you love doing multiply layer for shadow. What about darker shadows? How do you deal with that? Or do you just add them with the color? I usually just add it with color. And sometimes I'll add another multiply layer and get it even deeper. So I go back and forth between. So that's that. You've drawn animals your whole life, but why have I never seen you draw frogs? Well, that's a random question. Random. That's random. Because I just never have. And I've drawn a few frogs. That's not my number one subject matter. Here is a pika. Here's a pika screaming. Ah! They're awesome little rodents that live up in the rocks, and they've got to live in the Himalayas, I would imagine.
Can you recommend any oil paints and watercolor paints that I could buy?
Anything Winsor Newton.
Winsor Newton?
Yeah, I use Winsor Newton.
For both watercolor and oil?
Yep. Winsor Newton to me is the best brand for me. Other people may have a different opinion, but for me, that's the best out there. I can't believe I've been on this for an hour. What's going on?
What is going on? That's a good
What's going on? Layers. All right, so I like that. I'm digging it.
Do you happen to have any tips on how to avoid tension and pain in your hands when drawing so much?
I don't have that problem. I get people that ask me that all the time, and I really don't have that problem. Now, I tend to draw a little bit more from my shoulder, and I don't do a lot of this.
Yeah, I think that's where the issue comes into play, is through the wrist.
Yeah, I don't draw with my wrist. Like even now, I draw, from my elbow or from my shoulder. So here I'm just laying in that base gray. What I ought to do is change the background color so I can see that gray a little bit better. I'm going to go a little bluer. A little bit bluer. A little bluer.
Go a little bluer. What layer modes do you use frequently?
Normal, multiply, and Overlay. Yeah, overlay, right? Yeah, overlay.
Overlay.
Not dissolve. Normal.
Nomadic.
Nomadic. Yes.
I just
Nomadic.
repeated it. How do
Bum,
you,
bum, bum.
how do you manage your time and energy while you're traveling and also working on multiple artworks, like also art business? Any suggestions?
I don't drink. I don't drink when I'm on my business trips. That's a start there. And I just stay really focused. A lot of my trips are spent surprisingly not as much drawing as I am lecturing. And so I'm always making sure that I've got my I go over my lectures and over them to make sure I've got them down. And then and as far as the drawings go, I draw enough that I just kind of wing it, and it just works out for me. You know, if you draw enough, it almost becomes like speaking. You know, you really don't think about it, and that's kind of where I'm at as far as that goes. And I think that's why I'm able to talk and draw at the same time. Sometimes I can't, but most of the time I can do that, and it's because I'm kind of on autopilot. Raven Draw on Twitch asks, "Hey Aaron, I have a question. When did I say to myself, I wanted to be an artist?" Well, my parents told me I was going to be an artist before anybody else. Before I told myself I was going to be an artist, they used to tell me, "You're going to be a commercial artist when you grow up." I didn't know what a commercial artist was. I don't think they knew what a commercial artist was.
You're gonna make it big someday.
But my mother started me drawing when I was in a high chair, when I was about 9 months old, and they told me I was drawing faces, recognizable faces, when I was at 9 months. But my mother lied all the time too, just straight up lied.
Somebody says you sound
Wicked.
like Thanos sometimes, Aaron.
Yes, yes.
Destiny will arise.
Wikipedia says the large-eared pika of the Himalayas and nearby mountains is one of the highest living mammals. It is found at heights of more than 20,000 feet. I told you. I knew we've got them in the Rockies here in the United States, so I was sure that they lived in the Himalayas.
Do you watch many David Attenborough documentaries?
Yes. I love David Attenborough.
I find his knowledge of animals and their environments incredible.
I find not just his knowledge, but his empathy and sympathy and soul. His soul is all about the natural world. He's such a good force, a good man in that way. I find him so inspiring, incredibly inspiring.
To the latecomers, what are you currently drawing?
I am currently drawing, by request, a sassy snow leopard.
Meow.
Meow. Get on over here, meow. What? Did you just say meow?
Am I saying meow?
Am I saying meow?
What am I, a cat to you? Alright, let me see your license registration, meow.
Did you just say meow?
You start that right now.
Why are you saying that? Saying what, meow?
I'm saying what right now?
There we go. There we go.
In the future, can you draw a dinosaur?
In the future, I can draw a dinosaur. I can draw a dinosaur in the past. I can draw. Yes, I can draw.
I think you know what a person meant. Smart aleck.
That's me being a jerk.
A jerk.
Oh, and also for the newcomers, remember we've got the. Well, how can they remember if they're newcomers? We've got a promo code going on in celebration of me crossing 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. And that promo code is YT300K. That is YT300K. Oh, I'm digging this one. I'm digging it, Dustin.
You digging it?
Oh, baby. You're digging it.
Actually, speaking of dinosaurs, what's your favorite dinosaur? Mine personally is the Stegosaurus.
My favorite dinosaur. I always like Triceratops.
Good one.
I want to get just a little more there. There we go.
Are you using special settings on the pen? Cheers from Germany.
Nope, no special settings. Cheers from Florida.
Would you do a voice acting role if presented the opportunity?
I would love to do voice acting. I did a lot of the scratch dialogue in the films that I directed. And I loved doing scratch. I love doing voice.
I would love to do voice.
I know you would.
So much.
You did a lot of voice stuff for us.
Yeah, I remember doing some scratch voices for Tembo.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yep. You
That
all right?
was a fun experience.
You all right there? You all right there?
Bronchitis.
It's killing me.
It's killing me. Can you draw a villainous...
No.
Okay. Can you draw a villainous bearded vulture in an upcoming live stream?
Does someone need to draw a bearded vulture?
A bearded vulture.
Yes, I can do that.
Not a bald vulture, but a bearded vulture.
Well, there is such a thing as a bearded vulture.
I know.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have the beards.
Right.
Like, duh.
To Blaise.
Will you do videos with Proko
no.
for your YouTube channel? That would be awesome. Or maybe a live stream?
I'm not sure we'll be able to do a live stream. Proko is going to be here to shoot stuff for his channel. I'm sure we're going to do some. We're going to do some interviews and things like that. So yeah, we'll probably do something. I'm just not sure what yet.
What are your thoughts on the...
Twitch question: may I request a pika someday? Pika. Yeah, I might put a pika in this.
What are your thoughts on the Aladdin trailer?
Well, it's funny how everybody started crapping on Will Smith being the genie, and then they put out a new trailer, and it's pretty doggone good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a little iffy, but it's not as bad as it was when they first showed that
Exactly.
trailer.
Have faith, my young friend. But I think it's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. Oh yeah, Dumbo on Friday, man.
Remind me of the one voice I did for your animation. The hey dummy, put your gun away.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to add a little shadow, and I'm going to do my typical him kind of coming into the light, because especially in the mountains, I want it to feel like he's behind a rock or something.
What's your favorite film or project you've worked on?
Favorite film or project? My favorite film or project is always the one that I'm working on currently. I always find something. I've never had a project that I've completely disliked. Now, that being said, probably my favorite, just because it was the toughest project I ever did, was Brother Bear. Because directing that's the hardest thing I've ever done in my career. And Lion King, was just a super enjoyable process. I mean, animating lions. Come on, doesn't get any better than that.
Did you ever design a character with a specific voice actor in mind? Do you get a say in who voices them as a character designer?
Not usually. A lot of times they'll have an idea for who they want to. The directors will have an idea for who they want already. I know I did, except for Kenai. Kenai, we auditioned over 100 people before we ended up with Joaquin Phoenix. We just could not find the right, the right person. It took a long time.
I remember for King of the Elves, the main character, like the whole time you had in mind was Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I wanted Morgan Freeman really bad.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they actually went on with the project and you actually had Morgan Freeman?
I know, that would just kill me.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just has one of those voices, you know.
Oh yeah. So does everyone else. The man is amazing.
Oh yeah. Are you interested in seeing the artworks created by your art course's followers?
Yeah. Always. Definitely. Hey Dustin, stop coughing.
I'm trying.
There we go. All right. Wanted to get that out of the way. Yeah, let me bring this down. You know, seriously, Dustin, stop it.
Seriously, I'm trying. What do you think of the Godzilla King of Monsters trailers?
Oh, what am I doing?
I am so excited.
There we go.
What about you? Are you excited for?
Yes, I'm very sorry. I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Seriously, if you don't stop coughing, you're fired.
But you enjoyed the first Godzilla, right?
Yeah. Yep, I did. Godzilla.
Yeah,
Godzilla.
like I've always enjoyed Godzilla since I was a kid, and
We all did, except I always watched the old Japanese
oh yeah,
versions when I was a kid.
yep. I've watched like the ones through the '60s, through the '80s, and I even watched the very bad US 2000s one.
Yeah.
But
Well, you and a lot of people.
yeah. But yeah, I've always enjoyed them, and I'm really, really excited for the fact that they're bringing back the the classic monster villains, like
Yeah.
Rodan, King Ghidorah. Mothra was always my favorite, and seeing little sneak peeks of Mothra in this upcoming movie, it's just like, yes, I need more.
So you're saying you're excited?
I am very excited. And also, I got my name in the credits of the first Godzilla movie.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Yeah. Worked on the project for about a week. Got 2 shots in. Only one got into the final cut.
Oh, really?
And I still got my name in the credits. So I did because our team helped out with the 3D conversion for about a week.
Well, that's still pretty cool.
Still something.
YouTube question. How was your experience as a student at Ringling? My experience as a student at Ringling was awesome. Now, granted, I went to Ringling over 30 years ago. So it's a completely different place. than it was. CG animation was just getting off the ground, just computer graphics, and just creating images on a computer was just getting off the ground, and so, and then there was no animation school there. Animation was still kind of struggling. Disney at the time was thinking about shutting down the studio. So it was a whole different world. But then they decided The Great Mouse Detective came out and was pretty good success. So they decided to expand a little bit, and they were putting in an animation attraction in Florida, and then that's when I applied to be for an internship at Disney. And then right after that, Little Mermaid came out and everything turned around. And once animation became, this big worldwide success, then all the schools started teaching it. And that's when Ringling became something different. YouTube question. Thoughts on the animals on Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle? The animals have a very human-like face, and it's so uncanny. Yeah, I found it a little disturbing. I actually was originally, in the very beginning, I was the character designer. I was a character designer for the animals, for Baloo and Bagheera and Kaa and all that for that movie. But we were running into some creative differences, creative opinion differences, and so they wanted it to be more like what it was in the movie, and I felt that it needed to be more naturalistic, and we just couldn't come to an agreement, so I left. But I mean, we left on great terms. It was fine.
A few days ago, I watched Robin Williams' performance on YouTube again of his stand-up where he played a Scotsman who told a story on how the Scottish invented golf.
It's hilarious.
I love that bit. It would be awesome to see you come up with a anthropomorphic merino sheep of goat character to voice this, and maybe animate a line or two. Would that be possible?
Oh man, that's a great idea. I love that idea.
Look, all you got to do is hit the ball into a golfer hole. Like pool. Screw a pool. It's got to be 100 yards away. Dustin, tell us a random unpopular opinion you have.
What?
What? I have no opinion on that opinion.
That's an odd request. So I'm just adding light, a little bit of light. I got the layer mode on overlay, making him feel like he's sitting in the shadows. Yeah. And I'm going to go multiply one more time, and I'm going to get the shadows a little bit more deeply. More deeply. So one of the things I like to do is put the spots on multiply. That way, they can get lighter and darker according to what I put over the top of them. There we go.
Have you ever illustrated an animal or creature from ancient mythology on a live stream?
I have not, but that's a cool idea. Maybe we should in the future.
Probably like a centaur or a minotaur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Digging it. I'm digging it.
You digging it?
Yeah. Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
Cleaning it up a little bit. All right. So now, put a little layer on top.
Put a little layer on top. Just like so. There we go. Hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo. Oops.
Let's see what we got in this picnic basket. Will you create dragon tutorials?
I've never thought of that, but I could, I guess. A dragon tutorial.
Actually, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I could be
Like
kind of.
different designs of dragons and just like
Yeah,
different ideas.
that could be fun. I concur.
It can cut. Any tips for setting long-term goals and not give up on
Well, you just answered it. Don't give up on them.
them?
When you setting long term goals are tough because even though it's a long term, people still want it. Especially this generation, they want it now, and
Yeah.
you just got to remember a long term goal is just that. It's long term, and so it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Especially like for instance, when we did our movies, making an animated film, it's a long ass process, man. and you just gotta keep your eye on the prize, which is uh, getting it done. But along the way, what we would do is we would set our mini goals. We have our weekly things that we try to get done, and we set our immediate goals, our short term goals, our medium term goals, like within the next few months, and then our long term goals, which is getting the movie done. And that's just how we would stay focused and reach our ultimate goal, which is finishing it.
Any advice on how to triumph over art block? Has it ever happened to you?
Any advice on what? Say again.
Art block.
Oh, art block. Yeah, I mean, I get that question a lot. Art block happens to everybody, and when I get it, I just start to draw, and sometimes it's just squiggles. Sometimes it's I like to doodle faces and things like that, so I'll just start doodling, but I just start putting something down on paper, and 100% of the time something evolves out of that. I get something going.
I think if you have a block of just about anything, the best way to get through that block is just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Yeah. Do it.
YouTube question: what is my favorite movie without animation? I've got a lot.
With
Apocalypse Now, Dances with Wolves, Braveheart, The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Um, oh brother, where art thou? Where art thou? And you boys, Smithies. So I've got tons of them.
Yeah, it wasn't until me personally. I recently watched Apocalypse Now for the first time. What was like a couple of weeks ago?
Oh really?
Yeah, I've told you about that.
Oh, that's right. Oh man, you're looking at the heads, aren't you? It's the heads. You think he was a wise man? You think they're gonna say he was a great man? Dennis Hopper was awesome in that movie.
Oh yeah. Are you going to see Toy Story 4 when it comes out?
Yes. Francesco on YouTube asks, I heard that Milk Call was very rough with his feedback to assistant animators. Has anything like that ever happened to you? No, I was very lucky. Yes, he was very rough. He was, for lack of a better term, he was a son of a bitch. He was a tough dude. And I never had anybody treat me like that. Matter of fact, I had just the opposite. My mentor was Glenn Keane, and he was the most patient, really great guy that anybody could ever meet. And so I was very, very lucky to have Glenn as my teacher. Mr. Chapstick on YouTube asks, "How does it feel to have 300,000 subscribers?" Feels pretty doggone good, gotta say. So I'm just going through and pushing some of the lighter areas here.
What are your opinions about rotoscope animation?
I think rotoscope animation can be great, and it definitely serves its purpose. And live action is actually live action reference, not necessarily rotoscoping, but live action is used a lot. We used it all the time at Disney, and I think it can be done very poorly, and I think it can be done well. It's just a matter of what it's being used for. There's a lot of rotoscoped animation in Heavy Metal, the movie Heavy Metal, which I just thought was terrible. And so, there's, like I said, there's different ways of doing it.
Did they use a lot of rotoscoping for like Titan AE and Anastasia?
Yes. But see, I thought some of that was done pretty well.
Yeah. Fire and Ice was definitely
rotoscoping. Yeah, that's all, yeah. Pretty rough. Cake Time on YouTube asks, "Could you release a video on building a portfolio to show animation studios with tips and stuff like that?" Yes, actually, I think we did one a few years ago. Nick and I did one. It's buried in my YouTube channel, but we did one like 4 years ago.
Of what?
On what to include in a portfolio.
Ah. Thinking I might.
Nick, I think we did that.
You think we might end up doing a updated version?
Yeah, we could do that. Nick. Do the Nick.
What do you think of the stories and animation of the Studio Ghibli films?
I love them. I don't always get it, but I'm totally enamored, and I mean enamored, with their visuals. Especially the background paintings. Go ahead, Dustin. Sorry.
I've always loved the visuals. Always loved the animation style. And also when it comes to the stories, I feel they leave out quite a bit when it comes to explaining things, just to let you imagine how it's done.
Yeah, maybe.
Something like that,
Yeah. Yeah. That's your opinion. John on YouTube asked, "Do I know former Disney animator Matt Novak? He was my teacher in college." Yes, Matt Novak and I worked together at the Florida studio. He's doing children's books now, as far as I know. And yeah, Matt's a great guy.
When watching animated movies, do you find yourself focusing more on the animation rather than the actual story?
No, if it's a good story, I'll get engrossed. I'll get sucked right in. If it's a great story.
And what do you think of the story and everything for the Spider-Verse?
Oh, freaking loved it.
Yeah?
I freaking loved it.
Freaking loved it.
Freaking love Dunkin' Donuts.
I freaking love Dunkin' Donuts. You kidding me? I'm the king of Dunkin' Donuts. What did you do on Pocahontas?
I animated Pocahontas. I was one of the Pocahontas crew. Now, see, Pocahontas, I love that movie, and if I had a least favorite film that I've worked on, it would be Pocahontas. I really love the directors. Mike Gabriel and Eric Goldberg are fantastic, wonderful men, and amazing artists and animators. But the choices for the animation was to have it very, very held back. And when I animate, I like to go kind of broad, and so it was very stifling. It was hard in that way. But I learned a lot, so I can't complain there. But it was a tough film to work on. All right, so I'm getting some light action here.
Random question. Now
Sure.
that you talk about millennials, do you prefer to call or text/email? My mom gets mad at me because I hate calling through a phone. It gives me so much anxiety. I prefer to text or email.
Yeah, see, because that's your generation. I totally see that. Anxiety to talk on a phone? Are you kidding me? No, I'd much rather call, although I do text a lot.
I think the opening to the Cowboy Bebop movie,
Cowboy Bebop?
Knocking on Heaven's Door, used some rotoscoping.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
I actually believe they did.
Twitch comment. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that. Yeah, I believe they did quite a bit of rotoscoping for the opening sequence in the movie opening for that.
For what?
For Cowboy Bebop, the movie.
Twitch comment. When you are in England, you should go to the L. Cornelissen and Son art supply store if you can. It was established in 1855, and the shop looks like art supply meets Harry Potter. Where is that? What city is that? Tell me. You tell me now.
Tell me now.
Whoops, I erased the wrong thing. You tell me now. I want to get rid of that. I don't need that line. Time. You tell me what time.
What time? Have you done any 3D work, or are you strictly 2D?
Strictly 2D. Strictly ballroom. All right, I'm going to add spots now.
Well, there's time for me to go to sleep. It's almost 6 a.m. in Australia. Thanks again for drawing my suggestion.
You're going to bed at almost 6 a.m.?
6 a.m.
Dude, or dudette, whoever you might be, you are hardcore.
All the way in Australia.
Yeah.
All the way down under.
Drawosaurus Rex on YouTube asks, do you think you'll draw Spider-Man? Nick has a follow-up. How about Spider-Ham? I like that.
It could not get any weirder. It can get weirder. I just wash my hands. That's why they're wet. No other reason.
Who did that voice?
John something.
You okay?
Excuse me. Hang on. I had it yesterday. John Mulaney.
Oh yeah, I know who he
That's
is.
it.
Comedian.
Did you have the opportunity to work on Treasure Planet?
I did not. I did not work on Treasure Planet. Although I have worked on other films with John Musker and Ron Clements. Aladdin. Worked with them on that.
Now people are starting to compliment my John Mulaney impression.
Don't compliment him. It'll just make a monster out of him. I got the black lung, Pops.
The black lung. Ever thought about recreating a character you've worked on in the past?
I have done that. I've done that with Beast, and I did that with
Nala. Right?
Nala. Yeah. Nala. I drew them in Photoshop. and try to make them look 3D. If that's what I mean by having done something like that.
Yeah, Treasure Planet is so underrated. Somebody writes in. Yeah, I believe that. Very,
Yeah,
very underrated.
I thought it was a really enjoyable film. Lot of heart.
I still watch it all the time.
Nick says you need to do Roger Rabbit. Oh, actually, that's a great idea, Nick.
Ooh.
That's a really cool idea. I've done a couple of Roger Rabbit short cartoons in the past. Sometime in the past. Sometime in the past.
That one Roger Rabbit short you say is like one of the most complex you had to draw because it was him hanging upside down,
Yep, spinning
spinning in a pendulum swing
as it settles.
as it's settling,
Yeah,
while he's talking and animating the entire time.
yeah. It was difficult.
How long did it take you to pull that off again? It was like
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. And how long is that segment? Like 10
It's a long shot. It's not a short shot. I can't remember how many feet it is, but it's definitely not a short shot. Snow leopard.
I'm trying to convince my family to pool enough money to send my 13-year-old daughter to England to meet you. Any helpful tips?
Well, meet me where? Because I don't want you to come. I don't just send your daughter all the way to England. Oh, you're talking about if you're talking about for the workshop got sold out, and the other stuff that I'm doing are private hires. I'm going for studios and stuff. I'm not sure where you live, but if you're in the United States, then I mean we're going to be doing some workshops here in the United States soon as well. So I'm not sure where you are. But you can contact us on through the website creatureartteacher.com, and we can figure something out there too.
We would love to see your take on Mickey and Oswald.
Oh yeah, you know what's funny is for 21 years I worked at Disney. I drew Mickey maybe 15 times total.
Really?
Hardly ever drew him.
I didn't even know that you drew him at all.
Yeah. Will you stop
I'm
coughing? It's just attention. You want attention. I get it. I see you. I see you.
As you work on your Bird of Prey series, could you include mouth shapes for more cartoony bird designs?
Sure, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, trying to animate a talking bird is tricky.
You know what? It is tricky, and you really only have to worry about getting the open and close right, hitting the accents, and then occasionally hitting your ooze. Beyond that, you don't really have to worry about the other shapes. You can animate right through them.
And the person that was asking before about her 13-year-old daughter says talking about the castle trip, and I'm in Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida. Well, so am I. I live in Florida as well. The castle trip is sold out, but we might end up with a few extra spots, and maybe you know that already. And so yeah, definitely. I don't know what to tell you as far as advice on how to convince your family, other than hey, it's worth it.
Hey, $2,000 is worth it.
No, but a lot of it, it's food. The food and board, the food and the room are included, and you're staying at a castle. I mean, it's a pretty cool deal. And you're going to get a lot of one-on-one. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. For this trip, you have to be 18.
Oh,
You got to be 18. I'm sorry, but this one you have to be 18.
darn.
Um, but we will have some other ones in the future here in Florida um, for younger students can apply. Yeah. I love the spots on a snow leopard.
They look very nice. They're quite nice.
They're quite nice.
You think you'll be able to follow those?
They're quite nice. Beep bop boop boop boop.
Beep pop boop, beep pop boop.
That one cracked me up.
From the Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, we were playing Cards Against Humanity the other night, and what was it? The world will come to an end not from nuclear war, but from
beep
beep
pop
bop beep boop boop beep bop.
And I was the one that put that card down. Beep pop boop beep pop. It's Skynet.
That's funny. Yes, my son and I hang out even outside of work.
We do?
We do.
Oh my god. Did you work on the John Lewis advert at Christmas a few years back?
I did. I co-directed the animation. I designed all of the animal characters, and I personally animated all of the bear and all of the hare.
The bear and the hare.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite projects that I've ever worked on.
Did you hear that Disney officially owns Fox now?
Yes. Which means all my friends that left Disney back in 2004 that are up at Blue Sky are now working for Disney again.
Here we go again. I didn't know that Blue Sky was owned by Fox.
Yeah. Well, it's not anymore.
Not anymore. Man, Disney's just taking everything over.
I know, man.
It's what's like 10 years from now, it's not even going to be United States of America anymore. It's going to be the United States of Disney.
I know. I know, right?
All right.
I know, right?
And our fearless leader is going to be Mickey Mouse.
Better than what we got now. No political talk. Okay.
Okay. ETA when we can watch Snow Bear.
You had to ask that one.
Here's the question.
I'm hoping to have it done at the end of the year. It currently being boarded, and quite brilliantly, I might add, by Lyndon Ruddy, who does our storyboard course on our site. And it's really, really coming out great. What I love about Lyndon and the way he does his boarding is, Nick and I had kind of a kickoff meeting with him where we pitched, what we had in our heads for the story, and the key points that we feel need to be there and that can't change, and then from there, then we brought Lyndon in. We flew him down, and we got into a hotel room for 3 days, and we just hashed it all out with Ronnie Williford too. We brought Ronnie in, and just really came up with some fun stuff. And so Lyndon has since gone away, and he is taking all of that and boarding it and really taking it to the next level. So that's what I was going to say. One of the things I love about Lyndon is just his ability to plus everything. He just pluses everything. It's really, really great.
Will you come to Austria one day? In Vienna, we have the oldest zoo in the world.
You know what? I knew that. Somehow or another, I knew that. I don't know why I knew that, but I did know that. I don't know. I don't have any plans on coming to Austria currently, but I would love to. What are you laughing at?
Oh, just maybe start thinking of Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, you mean put another?
Austria! Oh,
Ah,
well,
put
good
another
day,
shrimp
mate.
on the bobby.
Uh,
G'day, mate.
let's put another shrimp on the barbie. The people of Austria, I do apologize. This is from a movie.
There. That's coming along nicely, rather swimmingly. Question: what size settings do you use for your digital art in Photoshop? Well, this canvas is 20 inches by 16 inches at 300 dpi. That's what I normally work at.
After the layout is done, do you draw over it to start the animating, or do you freehand it?
I draw over it. If I'm understanding the question right, that's what we always do. You get a copy of the layout, and we would animate over the top of that. And then meanwhile, in old school ways we did it. Meanwhile, the animation, the layout, the copy that we're animating on, goes to backgrounds, and it gets painted. Now, a lot of times it doesn't get painted until after the animation, because sometimes the animation will, especially if you have to register with something in the layout, they'll wait till that's done before they commit to it and paint.
Since you're in Florida, can my 13-year-old come meet you, or perhaps you might visit her school and speak to the visual arts kids?
We could do that. You just got to contact us. Contact us through the website, and we could definitely do that. Where in Florida are you?
Tampa area.
Oh, that's easy. Yep.
Easy peasy.
Yep, very easy. Nick is in Sarasota, so just down the road.
Dustin, can you do an impression of Gober from How to Train Your Dragon? Which one's Gober?
Goober. Isn't that Goober?
Is he the one that talks about the dragons that take the last soak?
That I don't know.
Gober. I think I might have done it already.
You sound more Irish. That sounds Irish. Question: what size? Oh, I already did that one. Must be slow today.
It's a little slow. But another future recommendation: draw Dustin as whatever animal you think he reminds you of the most.
Sasquatch.
Wrong.
There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to grab that brush that I made earlier. And I'm going to make this. I'm going to make these fur. Knock the strength down just a little bit.
Aaron, if I send you my folio, would you give me feedback?
I won't be able to right now, only because I have a pile, hundreds of people asked that, and I can't hit everybody. We are currently trying to set up a system where we can start doing feedback and that sort of thing. So hang tight and stay tuned, and we'll try to work something out. But right now I cannot. So I'm creating fur here.
When will you add the pika?
Oh, the pika. I forgot about the pika.
I guess there's no pika.
Pika.
I guess there's no more pika.
Oops. There we go. There we go.
What brought you to Florida? I've heard it's a nice place, but also heard it can be hot. How's the environment?
I've lived in Florida all my life, so that's what brought me to Florida. I grew up here. And yes, it can be hot. The environment's awesome, though. I love living here. We kind of have a reputation of being the crazy people of the United States, and which I kind of like.
How should an individual contact a studio to pitch a story idea?
It's usually through their website. They have a most studios do not take outside pitches, so just to let you know that they just don't. Disney does not, Pixar does not, DreamWorks does not. So I'm not sure who you're thinking of, but none of the major studios that I know of take outside pitches. But if you do want to contact them, usually you just go through their website. There's usually a place for that.
Is it just me, or is Dustin getting more requests than Aaron today?
Hey, Kendra Williford asks, hey Kendra, by the way, how are you? Good to see you. So, pancakes again at the beginning of May. Sounds good to me.
Pancakes?
I won't be back from Europe until May... What is it? Oh.
May, I think.
5th?
Is it 5th? May.
Yeah, May 5th, I think.
I plead the fifth.
But that would be good. Let's do it again. YouTube question. My wife and I are curious. Where in Florida do you live, and why did you choose that area? Oh. Why did you choose that area? If you can, please tell us about the area and what you like most about it. Well, I guess I'm a travel agent now.
I guess.
No, I live in DeLand, Florida, north of Orlando. Mainly, I ended up here because my sister was living here, or is living here, and my father was going back and forth between the two of us, and I was living in Stuart, Florida. And this is before my business really kind of took off, and I was having trouble. I needed to find a new place to live because I was living on the beach. And so I figured I would just move closer to my sister. That's what really was the driving force, was to be closer to family. But since coming here, I've really come to really fall in love with DeLand. It's an old southern town. The house that I live in is 101 years old. You know, so I just love that feel. I walk. I'm very close to downtown, so we walk everywhere. There's a lot of springs nearby, so we go swimming at the springs a lot, and there's a lot of nature. So I'm out there as much as I can. The St. John's River is right here, so I'm out on my boat on the St. John's River quite a bit. Yeah, there's a lot of different reasons why we like it here. I love Florida in general. I love everything about Florida. I always have.
Nice weather.
It is nice weather. Melly Hops on Twitch asks, what house are you both in Harry Potter? What house are you both in? Oh, in Harry Potter.
Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin.
I have no idea. I'm not that nerdy. I'm kidding. I don't know. Also, are you guys excited for the new season of Game of Thrones? Yes. Dustin? Tell them, Dustin.
Oh, you're the one that was hooked to it. I'm not.
Dustin has never seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
No, I've watched like 2 or 3 episodes, but never got into it.
Oh, you just couldn't get into it?
No.
Gotcha. I thought you'd like all the sex.
No. Dustin, could you try doing an Austrian dialect?
Austrian or Australian?
Austrian. I think the closest...
Isn't Austrian kind of German?
Yeah, it's basically Arnold. Arnold's Austrian.
Oh, that's right.
Get through the chopper, let's go! I've always wanted to meet Arnold. Like, Arnold, you're a big inspiration in my life. Like, oh, nice to meet you.
That's funny.
Are you prepared for the English weather?
Oh yeah, I like the rain. It is. We're doing a lot of watercolor, so it's going to be interesting as far as dealing with that handicap if we get a lot of rain. But
Well, you'll have plenty of water to work with.
yeah. Well, but I heard like last summer you guys had the UK had a beautiful summer. It barely rained at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you producing Snow Bear with a studio, or are you making it as an independent animator?
Independent. We were doing it all ourselves with TV Paint software. One of the reasons why there's only one character in the in the short, so we can handle it ourselves. And I like creating not a handicap, but creating parameters that really force us to get creative. Like I started out when I started thinking about this story, I knew I wanted to do something on my own, and I wanted to do it, fairly. I didn't want it to take me 20 years to do it, so I just started thinking about different environments that would be easy to get down and single character stories. And so I came up with taking a shower one day is where I always get my ideas. Came up with this idea for Snow Bear, and then I pitched it to Nick, and it really kind of took off, and we've been kind of developing it ever since.
Somebody wrote an Arnold quote. Nice to meet you. Would you like to get in my chopper? Did you ever watch that with it was Arnold and Jimmy Fallon, and they're doing a fake infomercial.
Oh no!
It's like, but there's like a device called the chopper, and and Arnold kept was like, that sounds great, but let's get back to the chopper. Let's get to the chopper.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, just look up Arnold, Jimmy Fallon, Chopper, and you'll laugh your butt off.
Do you think it's possible to exaggerate an image too much? Yeah, yes and no. It really depends on. I mean, I've seen some pretty exaggerated caricatures and whatnot, and it just really depends on the art direction of what it is that you're trying to do.
So far, besides location, are any details released about the England trip?
Yeah, all the details are released.
All the details?
About the England trip. Yeah. Sorry, pal, you've been living under a rock. No, the details came out last week, and we sold out in 48 hours.
Where can I find all the information?
On our website, creatureartteacher.com.
creatureartteacher.com.
That is.
creatureartteacher.net.
It's .com. Speaking of which, for newcomers, we are celebrating today me crossing the 300,000 subscriber threshold on YouTube. And so we are running a special promo code on my website, creatureartteacher.com, today for 25% off. All you got to do is when you check out, punch in the code YT300K. It's YT300K, and you will get 25% off everything in your basket. So here I'm just creating a fur texture on these spots with my smear tool and a brush that I made with dots. And that's how I do it.
I'm planning to do a revision animation fan short film for a Marvel comic character. Would I go through copyright problems?
Yes. Well, it depends. It depends on how you're going to use it. So if it's to make money, you definitely will run into copyright problems. If it's just like a student film, I'm not sure. But either way, anytime you use somebody else's property, you're going to run into copyright issues. no matter what your intention is. Generally, I stay away from anything like that. That's why you never really see me doing any of my old characters from Disney or anything like that, because they're not mine.
Ever thought of redrawing all of the Disney characters?
There we go. Say it again.
Huh?
I was just saying how I don't do any of the Disney characters. But go ahead.
But yeah, ever thought of redrawing all of the Disney characters you worked on, or animated all on the same drawing, sort of like a big family portrait?
No, not really. Once I'm done with them, I'm done with them. I mean, it's cool and everything, but I kind of move on. Oh shoot! Oh no, I didn't. Okay. You know what I haven't done? Save.
Are there any artists you would love to collaborate with?
Yeah, a lot. There's a lot of artists I'd like to collaborate with. James Baxter. I'd love to do something with James Baxter, who's an amazing animator. I just find him to be incredibly talented, and we worked together on Beauty and the Beast. And he was at Disney, I was at Disney at the same time, but I'd like to work with him more closely on something. I just think I could learn a lot from him. I think he's incredibly good.
Have you seen the independently made like 80s anime style Star Wars TIE Fighter short?
No.
I need to show it to you at some point. It is awesome.
Is that?
Yeah, this guy, I think it took him about a year and a half, maybe longer.
Oh, I saw it.
And,
It's like a dogfight.
Yeah, it was like it's like all like anime style of TIE fighters dogfighting in the Star Wars
Yeah.
version. It's like, and quite a bit of it looks like rotoscoped when it comes to the people moving around.
Oh, really?
But yeah. But all in all, it looks absolutely insane. And the person even added in like 80s like rock and roll music into the mix.
Oh, that's cool.
Are you a well-read storyteller, or are you mostly inspired by movies?
I wouldn't say I'm well read, although I'm pretty decently read, and I am very inspired by films. So take that for what it's worth.
What's the best way to promote an animated short?
You know what? I'm not sure the best way. I don't know yet. I'm going to find out. Because I've got to do it myself, and I'm just not sure yet.
Any new questions from Nick?
Nope. I'm just sitting here right now trying to vary up some of the values.
Man, it's already been 2 hours?
Yeah, man.
Holy crap.
Oh, is that you saying, hey, Dad, can we finish up?
No. I just didn't realize how
No, I know.
passed.
It's just me blabbing.
What's the what about the India tour?
The
Is there an India tour
No.
happening? No, nothing.
I'd like to have an India tour.
And when you say the European tour is starting, it's this next month, right?
Yeah, it's starting in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yep.
What's a good exercise for getting better at designing fantasy or alien creatures?
You know, I think it's a lot of times, you know, I really got to study real physiology and biology, and really get good at knowing what's in the real world, because the more you know what's in the real world, the better you can design things that aren't real, because they'll be believable. And that to me is a big key to creating believable creatures. One of the best is Tara Whitlatch, and her knowledge of the real world is just it's mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling.
It's like your mind is stuck in a bottle. So that's probably my biggest piece of advice is to do that, to really get to understand the real world.
The person asking, yes, I love the anime Samurai Champloo. It's the same creators that made the Cowboy Bebop show I was talking about.
Beep, beep, beep.
But it's all like
Excuse me.
Samurai mixed with hip hop.
Ooh.
And it's the same voice that one of the voices of the show is the same guy that voices the main character in Cowboy Bebop. His name is Steve Bloom.
Uh-huh.
All-time favorite voice actor. And yeah, he voices a character in Samurai Champloo, and I love that series as well.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
What part of this process do you enjoy more? The initial sketching and exploring the pose, or the painting and finessing?
The exploring the pose. I really enjoy exploring the pose. Here I'm trying to get a little reflected light off the snow that's in the sunlight behind him. It's creating a little reflected light on his fur.
You like the show Samurai Jack?
Never watched it.
I haven't. I love the it's a very unique style of animation. I love it. That coughing is attacking all family. No, it's just me that's infected. That's all.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a cough, but
nothing like what I'm having.
I got a little bit of something when I was in Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
In blue Hawaii. So I'm trying to bait you.
It ain't gonna work. Not this time. What animation films inspired you the most as a kid?
As a kid, I really didn't watch that many. Jeez, I can't stop coughing now. I didn't watch that many animated films when I was a kid. And it wasn't until I became older that I became really inspired by Bambi, Pinocchio, all those films. That's what really drove me.
Do you usually listen to music as you work?
I do. I do usually listen to music.
Usually listen to like very chill, like blues.
Yeah.
Or like
chill out music.
Yeah, like chill tech. I've heard you listen to like chilled out like techno music.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, but also I'll listen to like real earthy, singer-songwriter stuff. And so what I've done here is I've turned off my drawing layer. I'm just going to go in and hit the areas that I want to be. There we go. Emphasized a bit more.
It's been so long since I was able to catch your live videos. How are you, and what inspired you for this piece?
I'm great, thank you. Today was request day.
Today was request day.
And so someone suggested doing a sassy snow leopard. And so I'm doing a sassy snow leopard. I think it's more of a smug snow leopard, but...
What exactly consumes the budget in movies, and why are cartoon shows lower budget than movies?
Lower budget?
Yeah.
Our budgets on when we were at Disney were as high as any other film. And back in on Brother Bear, with overhead, our budget was $120 million.
But why is the budget on shows lower than movies?
Oh, it's because they got to produce a lot of them. TV shows, they got to produce a lot more content, and so you can't be spending as much, and they're doing it quicker.
I think the more expensive shows I've heard was like it was a 6 episode show. It was Afro Samurai, and like each episode I think was like 1.5, like 2 million
Mm-hmm.
per, if I remember right. I might be way off on the budget count, but it was pretty high up there. But but yeah, like you said, just a lot of content needs to be made in a
Yeah.
very short amount of time.
Oh yeah. You know what I did wrong?
What'd you do wrong?
Forgot to finish up the spots.
Have you had to name this sassy leopard, and what would you go for? That is, if you decided on the gender.
I haven't named the sassy leopard yet. No. No.
The sassy leopard. Are you keeping the transparent sketch layers separated, or are
Yes.
you painting over it?
I'm painting over it, but right now I've got it turned off. There's my sketch layer. There it is turned off. Matter of fact, what I think I'm going to do is just erase it. I'll hold on to it. I'll keep a copy of it. But I'm just going to erase it in areas that I don't think I need it. And leave it in places where I do need it. Like so.
Ever played
YouTube question. Sorry, Dustin, real quick. Actually, hope you're having a good day. Do you ever work with Armand Serrano? Yes, I worked with Armand Serrano many times, and we have done a lot of things together, including our uh, work in the Philippines. I've done 2 of his retreats in the Philippines. So we worked a lot together. Jacob on YouTube asks, do you think we could see a return of 2D animated films to theaters? Yes, I do think that's going to happen. I think it's going to take a while, but I do think it's going to happen.
I really
Absolutely.
hope it does.
I absolutely believe it's going to happen.
I mean, it's kind of in a way almost like the 3D depth industry, because the 3D actually started like way even further back, like 30s and 40s if I remember correctly. But
Yep,
it just
it did.
kept on going on and off. And in the 80s there was quite a bit of
What the heck?
bit of 3D stretch, and then it died off through the 90s and early 2000s, and now 3D is booming again. So we might see the same thing happen with 2D animation, where we're having the big spike in 3D animation, then eventually we'll go back to 2D.
Yep, I agree.
Especially with TV Paint becoming such a popular software.
Well, there's a lot of different factors, but yeah. Okay, that's
Listen,
feeling
Aaron, are
better.
you guys in a new room? Not the usual studio room?
Nope, we're in the same room.
Same old room. Have you ever tried sketching with an iPad? If so,
Yes.
are there any programs you recommend?
Procreate. Procreate, number 1.
Procreate.
Procreate, number 1.
Watercolor question. I've seen artists use pen first for outlining and paint over. Do you have any tips for doing that?
Yeah, matter of fact, on my new course, I do a whole video on that, doing just that.
On a pen outline?
Yep. Well, not pen, but pencil.
Pencil, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I can tell you about pen is just make sure it's waterproof.
Yeah, I think we tried doing a pen episode, but it got a little. I think it was I think we were.
No, the pen itself wasn't going on the paper the way I liked it. The way I wanted it to.
Yeah,
So we
ended up
trashed it, and then I did a pencil one instead.
Yeah.
We're getting there on this. We'll be done soon. Just a drawing.
Is the felt tip pen the best pen to use for practice drawing?
The felt tip? No. I mean, it could be any pen. It's whatever you're comfortable with. So if you like a felt tip, then yeah, man, use a felt tip. But I wouldn't say it's the best. It's just whatever you feel is the best. I like drawing with a felt tip, but right now my favorite pen is a brush pen by Bimoji.
Hi guys. A good buddy of mine was just hired as a concept artist at a gaming company. He loves the work, but hates the company. What kind of advice would you give him?
Give it time. You know, a lot of companies do stuff that, we're just not happy with. Disney, did stuff like that when I was there a lot, and but I loved working for Disney, and I ended up really loving my experience there for the 20 years that I was there. Just give it time, and just see what happens. Don't be cynical.
I'm so curious to see the pika on the neck of the snow leopard.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the pika again.
Oh well.
Pika. Let's see. Should I go ahead and get that pika done?
All up to you.
It's all up to you there, fella.
I'm just here reading out the comments.
All right.
You do your thing, I'll sit here and do mine.
You do you.
You do you, boo-boo. Ever thought about applying the attributes of a big cat or bear to an automobile?
No. I never have.
So, what, basically turning a bear into a car or something?
I think that's what they're saying.
Or like a truck?
I've never thought of that. Pushing the background a little darker.
Huh?
I'm just saying, pushing the background a little darker here to get the leopard to pop a little bit better.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
It definitely makes those highlights pop a lot more in the shadows. Like,
Yeah.
Feel darker.
Yes. Succumb to the dark side.
Do it.
Do it.
D. D. Do it.
Duh.
D. D. Screw it. What are we going to do with all this day old meat? Steer it.
Steer it.
Is it okay if we pray at the table? Do it.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
He asked a girl out. The girl's like, no, you're ugly. Blew it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's about to rob him. Don't do it.
Going a little darker on the shadows. Want to push them a little darker.
And for the people that are confused on what just happened, just look up Game Grumps, Emperor Palpatine. You will not regret it. Absolutely hilarious video to watch. Do you already have an idea for a new tutorial at Creature Art Teacher?
Yes, we've been talking about doing Birds of Prey next to expand my How to Draw Animals series. And also we're going to do a course on acrylic painting. I want to do one on gouache. And then also an studio oil painting.
What are your faves? Blues versus big band, chicken versus steak, cat versus dogs.
Love dogs. I love cats too, but dogs I've got a kinship with. I got to go with steak and blues.
Yeah, I'm going with dogs, steak, and big band. I've always had a thing for big band music.
Yes, you have.
In fact, even the family calls me an old soul. Right?
Yep, yep. We also have a new tutorial by Tim Hodge coming very soon on drawing cartoon animals. Thank you, Nick. Yes, I forgot about that. Tim Hodge, who is an amazing story artist, ex-Disney guy. We worked together at Disney for years and years. He does these beautiful ink and watercolor animals, cartoon animals. And so we asked him to come in and participate and create a video for us, a tutorial course on how he does that. And we flew him down a couple weeks ago, and we just had a blast. We had so much fun, and he created some beautiful, beautiful drawings. And so that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks as well.
Aaron loves dogs, but does he draw them much?
I don't draw them very much.
And that person writes, you should draw more dogs.
Dags.
Dags. You like dags?
Kind of noodling at this point. Yeah. Yeah, I've just got a lumpy, scratchy throat.
In the beginning, when Dustin was doing the Yoda voice, I was thinking that Aaron looks a bit like Luke Skywalker. But now with Darth Vader voice, the huge dark shadow over every painting makes sense. Just that one guy in the background with tuba. Yeah, sound like he mixed out on practice and just had too many to drink.
Oh, crap.
What's your favorite breed of dog? Whatever Achilles is, I bet.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite breed. I mean, I had an English bulldog for a while, and and Violet, I loved it, loved her. But for me, it's any dog is, I love all dogs, love them all. Mm, don't know if I like that. Taking that out. One of the things I love about digital, undo,
Undo.
undo.
Photoshop, undo the thing.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Let's get some snow done in here now.
Snow done?
Snow done.
What is snow done?
Got to get some snow done. You know, snow done.
Snow done. Sounds like a food or something. I'll have some more of the snow done, please.
Snow done.
Have you watched any Spanish movies, and are Spanish movies successful in the U.S.?
Well, Roma was just up for Best Picture. No, I don't watch a lot of Spanish films. I don't speak Spanish, so I wish I did speak Spanish. And we keep talking about trying to remedy that by learning Spanish, but I just haven't found the time. I don't think they do badly, Spanish films. They're not going to be as popular as English-speaking films, just because everyone's predominantly English-speaking. But shoot, there we go. There we go. Twitch question for Zootopia 2: is there anything you hope to see? More animals? No, I don't know. I don't. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really thought about it.
Dustin, what's your favorite childhood cartoon show? Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Hey, Ed! Hey, Eddie!
Absolutely loved Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I mean, I did watch all the other stuff like Disney shows like Tailspin and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, but Ed, Ed, and Eddie was my all-time favorite. I watched almost every episode of that show.
I didn't know that.
You never knew that?
I didn't know it was your favorite. Yeah. Oh, we got someone home. Hello. The whole world just saw you walk in.
Hi. It's alright, just watch the Emperor Palpatine video. Do it. It's funny, right?
There, I'm just painting in a little bare spot in the rocks.
In the beginning of the stream, I was imagining Aaron throwing away his Wacom stylus like Luke throws away his lightsaber in Last Jedi.
I don't need it anymore.
I'll never join the dark side. I am an artist, like my father before me. Dude, at some point, you should do a mythological themed vid, like chimeras and Enfields and griffins.
Chimeras. Chimera?
Chimera.
Chimera? Yeah, that's actually kind of a cute idea.
Cute. That's cool, brah. What do you think about Disney remaking all their old classics as live action films?
I think they've hit some good ones, and you know what? Everyone's like, yeah, they're just doing it for the money. Well, yeah, they're a business. I'd do it for the money too if I knew I could make a couple billion out of it.
Ever thought about doing a course on aquatic mammals such as dolphins or orcas?
Yes, I just haven't gotten to it. I definitely want to. Just want to clean this up a little bit in here.
Have you ever drawn Chinese dragons?
No, I never have, other than Mushu. But I actually really didn't draw Mushu that much.
This is for the latecomers. What are your thoughts on Toy Story 4?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm actually excited about it. We'll see.
I actually really enjoyed the very first trailer when they're all holding hands, slow motion together.
Yeah.
And the sport comes up. It's like, I'm not supposed to be here. It runs off.
I'm really anxious to see what comes out of Pixar and Disney post John Lasseter.
Yeah. Well, technically, Toy Story 4 is that, right?
Yeah.
Or is that, or would you say that's still in the John Lasseter?
Oh well, I mean, his legacy is part of that. I'd like to see what they come up with from original content point of view.
Probably a Cars 4.
No, I mean original content.
Probably Toy Story 5 then.
I'm an idiot.
At this point, I don't think they can make original content.
Maybe. See what I'm doing here? Making snow.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Let's see here.
Have you thought of a name yet for a sassy snow leopard?
For sassy snow leopard? No.
Sassy.
Not yet.
Do it. Have you ever drawn a sloth? I would love to see.
I animated a sloth.
Huh?
I animated a sloth.
That's right, with the I'm not Mr. Lebowski, you're Mr. Lebowski, I'm the dude.
That's exactly right. You got it all perfect.
I still have that as my ringtone for you whenever you call.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder if I can pull that up.
I don't know
Sloth.
how the audio will come out, but...
Dude. Whoops. What am I doing?
What are you doing?
Sloth. Dude. Anything? Miss Mac? Anything?
Try looking up just sloth.
Yeah. Nope.
The dude?
Dude. The dude.
The dude is bad.
The dude abides.
Oh, it's just...
It's reading the video format. Well, this is weird.
Huh.
Oh, I just opened it in Photoshop.
Why did you open it in Photoshop?
How did I do that?
Why did you do it in the first place? Huh.
It's all... Let's see. The dude.
Might want to crank up the volume.
I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
See, that's it.
I'm the dude.
I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
How do I get out of this?
I'm the dude.
I didn't know I could open video in Photoshop. That was pretty cool.
Do you know many colorblind artists?
Yeah, my brother. My brother is colorblind.
And he can't see
Red
green.
and
right?
green.
Red and green.
Yeah, they're the same to him.
Hmm?
They are the same to him. I got to do that pika, don't I? Ah, pika. Curse you, pika.
All depends on if you want to add in the pika.
I think I'm gonna add the pika.
Think you're gonna?
Add the
Think you're
pika.
gonna do it? Think you're gonna finally do it? You're adding that pika? But you like that voice?
Yeah.
You're gonna do it.
Let's see here.
The sloth reminds me of Winnie the Pooh characters. Somebody wrote.
Oh yeah. Let me look at this. Look at this pika.
The Puma is brought to you by Yellowstone National Park. Yeah.
Is that Manny?
It is Manny.
It's a mean
I think it
pika.
was Manny earlier that was asking about the Samurai Champloo, if I know about it.
The what?
Samurai Champloo, the anime I was talking about before.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was Manny that mentioned about it. Puma, not Puma. Puma. Puma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Puma, not Puma. Because he added musical notes next to Puma, not Puma, so it was like, am I supposed to sing that in a tune? Or? I don't know how I'm supposed to do it.
Do it.
Do it. D. D.
D.
D. D.
There we go.
Oh, pika, not Puma. Damn autocorrect. Man, he was trying to write pika, but it kept on coming out as Puma. So that's why I was like, Puma, not Puma. Pika, not Puma. The pika is brought to you by Yellowstone
National Park. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's grand.
it's great. What if you gave the leopard a crown made of Himalayan flowers, and the pika is putting the crown on the leopard's head?
Oh. Well, it's a little impossible. I don't have enough room
Yeah.
at the top for that.
We
Unfortunately.
just gotta work with what we got.
Just got to work with what we got. Plus, I got to finish this thing up. It's been 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I like hanging out with you people. But come on.
I got another question for me. Dustin, on the topic of Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, do you like Space Dandy as well? It's also directed by Shinichiro Watanabe. I have not seen it. I've heard a lot of great things about it, and I do plan on taking time to watch it at some point, but I have not watched it yet. Do you listen to music when you're animating?
No. I listen to music when I'm tying things down once I've gotten everything figured out. But while I'm animating, I can't hear music and figure out the animation at the same time. It's a weird thing. I don't know why, because any other time I can listen to music, no problem. But it's too distracting.
Have you ever been to Ohio?
I have been to Ohio. My aunt lives in Ohio, so I used to go every summer to visit my aunt in Ohio.
Ohio. Ohio?
That was bad.
It was terrible. That was just terrible.
Terrible.
Have you been to any zoos in Ohio, like Cleveland,
No.
Metro Park Zoo, Columbus Zoo,
No.
Cincinnati Zoo,
No.
or
No.
Toledo Zoo?
No.
Just any of the zoos?
No.
No. Not even one?
No.
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 No. Just visit
No.
Ohio,
No.
but not the zoos.
Yeah.
Lame. Would you ever
No.
want to go to one of
No.
those?
No.
No.
Of course I would. Good.
Shedding up shoes. No. Okay, shedding up shoes.
All right, let's add a little.
Greetings from Switzerland. Have you ever been to Switzerland?
Yes, 5 times. I've been to Switzerland more than any other country. Why? I don't know. Yeah. Amy on Facebook says, "Thank you for your drawing in Photoshop course. I just got my first Cintiq, and it is why can I not talk? And it is exactly what I've needed. Now only 30 more years of practice to catch up." That's right.
That took you a little bit to figure out what
Yeah,
to
it was
say.
weird. I couldn't get it out. How do I get rid of this? Oh well.
This is my first live stream, and I must say I'm loving every part of it.
Oh, good.
It is so interesting. I'm usually never able to catch them on time.
Well, I am glad you're here. And so is Dustin.
Yes, I am.
That was weird.
Yeah. I guess I should just go off and do it. Have you ever illustrated a kid's book?
Yes. Well, no. Yes.
Yep. Yes. No. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I haven't really illustrated a children's book, although in college, I did a coloring book. Created a coloring book called Florida's Colorful Creatures. I hate that pika being there. Getting rid of it.
Yeah, I don't
Boom,
think that
boom.
pipe was really needed.
No. I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it.
All right. I'm wrapping this up. We got to wrap it up. So I'm going to do a little bit more.
We gotta wrap this up. So I'm gonna add a little more. 12 hours later.
Okay.
Oh no, so someone went, no! We're losing the pika.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Didn't like it at all.
And if we had more.
It was
time,
it looked like an afterthought, and it was an
Yeah.
afterthought, and so
Yeah, maybe if we were able to plan further ahead of a better spot for the pika, but.
don't like that one right there, or that one. Let's leave it. All right. I'm calling it,
You calling it?
except for one thing.
Oh my god. Like Nick just posted. No!
Oh, shoot. I need to copy the background. Doggone it.
What are you trying to do?
Here. Put it on the bottom. All
Started
right.
from the bottom, now we're here.
What?
I just heard bottom, it just kind of popped out.
All right. All right. All right.
All
All
right.
right. All right. All right. All right.
Alright, I believe we're about done here.
Just want to do one more thing.
There's always one more thing with you.
Well, I was doing this one thing right from the beginning here. Oh, doggone it.
What'd you do?
Messed it up. I want to go to color dodge. Color dodge. Was that doing what I want it to do? I don't think it is. Yes, it is. Not sure I'm liking it. That's all right. It's working. Really get him in the sun right there. Just lightening that up. There we go. There we go.
There she blows! Oh,
There. That was kind of obnoxious. How do I get rid of this? Don't want it. All right. There we go. So there's our leopard. Right there. Our snow leopard, our sassy. That's not a very sassy snow leopard, but it's a forlorn snow leopard. Done very quickly. Well, the background was done quickly. But that was fun. I enjoyed it. So there's our snow leopard. And we're not going to be back Thursday. Nice. We're not going to be back Thursday. We have Proko coming into the studio tomorrow. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll have time to do a Proko live stream on Thursday.
Yeah, maybe like a special
So
guest.
it's up in the air. We're not sure yet. But we're going to have Proko here. We're going to have a great time. And if we don't go Thursday, we will be back again Tuesday, a week from today. And this was fun. There's our snow leopard. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And Dustin, I think... Oh, come on, put some beauty back in the world. Be nice to somebody. Always got to tell you that. Okay? And, we're artists, and it's our job for people to see the world, to show people the world in a new light. And I'm a big believer in that. So go out there and create some beauty. Get people to see the world differently. Do something nice for somebody. And with that, Dustin.
See you guys later. Cowboy Bebop.